Good evening, everyone. It is 5:30, so I'm going to call this February County Board meeting to order. And we are going to begin with our invocation, a moment of silence with Val Lehman.
Good evening. In what's mostly a month of celebrations, things like the Chinese New Year, celebrating the Year of the Snake, celebrating Black History Month, honoring the legacy and the stories of great Americans, even celebrations like Valentine's Day, reminding us to show and to accept love, and if you're a breakfast fan like me, National Hot Breakfast Month. Certainly I'm missing some celebrations, but in the season of celebration, we might also experience perhaps a season of chaos and a season of change. Things like our dark evenings slowly shifting lighter, things like winter turning to spring. When we think about the root of our month, February, it actually signifies purification. The Year of the Snake is a symbol of rebirth and renewal. So in these moments, while we're here together, about to conduct business for the county as constituents, administration, and elected officials, I ask that we all take a few moments to center and to clear our minds and participate in a moment of what's called box breathing. What this is simply on the count of 4 each time, taking a breath in slowly through your nose and counting to 4, holding that breath for a count of 4, breathing out slowly through your mouth for a count of 4, and holding that breath again for a count of 4. If you would center yourselves with me and just box breathe in and out here for a few moments. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Lehman. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and if we can now have the call of roll.
Beverly Bell. Here. Lindsay Bloomfield. Absent. Mark Klaus. Here. Leah Klein.
Here.
Alex Duffy.
Here.
Sean Fagan.
Here.
Buck Farley.
Here.
William John Friedrich.
Here.
Eric Hansen.
Here.
Val Lehman.
Present.
Brian Leffler.
Here.
Mike O'Neill.
Here.
Adam Reeves.
Here.
Jim Rogao.
Present.
Natalie Roseman Mendoza. Absent. Jeff Tompkins.
Here.
Andy Zebarth.
Here.
Crystal Abel. Here. Corey Byrne.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
And I am here.
18, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Next item is item 5 on our agenda, appearance by members of the public and county employees. Administrator Taylor, do we have any requests?
No requests? Okay. Okay.
So we have no one for public comment. Okay.
No public comment, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to item number 6, Veterans Parkway Corridor presentation by Mr. Ray Lai. Ray will be coming to the front, and we have asked him to, I know he can talk for a long time about this, but to try to keep it to 15 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Ray Lai. I'm the Executive Director for the McLean County Regional Planning Commission. Thank you for the opportunity for me to brief you about this really important project that is going to impact future generations of our region when it's completed. And just some slides we'll go through, and hopefully would give you a sense of what this project is about. Next, please. I'm going to go over the project background, the planning process that we're going through right now, the outreach and engagement activities, as well as the next steps. Next, please. we've been very fortunate. We MCRPC plus many other local partners, county government, staff, city, town, other quasi-public agencies that we work together on this grant application, a federal grant application. It's called RAISE grants, and it stands for Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity RAISE grants program. It's very competitive because competing with all the other jurisdictions in the country who would like to apply for this grant. And we are fortunate that we are among the 27 grantees, planning grant nationally, and the only one in the state of Illinois for this round. And so as a result, out of the total project estimated cost, about $675,000, the federal portion is $100,000, and the other remaining non-federal match, it got pulled together from the counties, the state, and city, town, and also Connect Transit. We put together this non-federal match, and so we got this project enough funding that we can take advantage of the federal grant award. So next, please. So Veterans Parkway, all of you, right, have been on it. And we know that it's not just for people in the urban area. We know that people from the rural areas would take Veterans Parkway to shop, to the doctor's appointments, to the airport, and vice versa. There are people who in the urban area, I hate to differentiate the urban and rural, but just to better to give you a sense of, like people in the urban area, they want to go out to the rural area, they do take advantage of the Veterans Parkway. And even people from outside of Bloomington Normal region, even like Peoria, if they want to take the flight, from the regional airport here, I was told that people do take Veterans Parkway. And freight and FedEx and freight, so all sorts of traffic. So people do use, as you all know, that Veterans Park is so important for our region. And it was constructed in 1941. Can you believe it? How old it is? But it has actually, when it first was built, it was a 4-lane bypass. And then it could grow into a 6 to 12 lanes major arterial for our area. If you can see, and I'll have a little bit better aerial for the next slide, but you can see the difference. But then, as you well know, the mobility, that's other than driving, you don't get a lot of you don't see bus stops, right? Walking, you don't see much sidewalks. If you pay attention, really minimal. Let alone people riding the bikes. Although I've seen personally, people do ride it because they have no choice. They will need to go to work. They have to cross the Veterans Parkway, taking their life on their own hand, to be honest, because they don't want to walk 15 minutes to the next traffic light, and another 15 minutes to where they want to go, just across the roadway. So there are lots of different situations that. This is such a major roadway, but then also a lot of crashes have taken place over the years. Some even resulted in fatalities. As you all have read in the news, heard in the news, and some major injuries have taken place. Next, please. Okay. This slide just gives sense that it's in the news from time to time, not because of good news, but because there's crashes, the people got killed. And then the diagram on the right-hand side is a little bit hard to tell, but the greenish area, darker green, it signifies where those crashes took place. And just you can tell that on the outskirts is between the two areas, the Veterans Parkway is where that is. And then the other one is the center one is 51, which is Main Street. Next, please. So this planning project that we are talking about that we have started several months ago, and the planning area is really this 10-mile stretch between the two interchanges, the 255. On the northern end, where you can see the two circles, and also the southwest end, and there's a 10-mile stretch of Veterans Parkway. And planning process, because a lot of the plan, we don't just go in and plan. There's a process. There's a steps-by-step process that we do go through and that we are going through right now. And it's comprehensive, it's sensitive to the context, to the environment, equitable, to reinvent, and we envision this over 80 years old Veterans Parkway. And who is this for? It's for everybody. Who's going to do it? All of us really should be helping this process. What's the goal? Is to have a safe, accessible transportation corridor to accommodate all vehicles, whether it's trucks or your own personal vehicles, all kinds, pedestrians, bicyclists, and public transit. Just think about people, as you all know, there's so many businesses along Veterans Parkway that there's some people I have met in person, they walk because they don't have a car. It's hard to take a bus. They have to walk 15 minutes to go to work and then go back home. And that's at night. And also think about the winter time. And this roadway, while it's right now, seems like it's for cars, but think about ourselves, our next generations, our friends and families. Next, please. We have a project steering committee that's helping us, for this process. With their 19 members, they represent like governments, businesses, and quasi-public community stakeholders. What we trying to encourage them is to provide input and guidance through the entire process. And this process will be a 2-year process. We are in the first few months already. They have been meeting since November, although the consultants doing the work started even before the PSC start meeting. And this whole project is going to go through until August or September of 2026. Next, please. This is just to want to show you there's a team of consultants who's helping us through the entire process, and it's led by T.Y. Lin. Next, please. The process that I just mentioned, it's composed of 4 phases. Phase 1 is I'm not going to go one by one because I'll have a more detailed slides later. The first phase, we already completed that, is initial outreach and current conditions. And then phase 2, investigation, incorporation of some newer data to do more analysis, and also moving on to phase 3, then the consultant will develop alternatives, choices, options for the community to consider. And then phase 4 would be for the community, the project steering committee, for the consultants to determine what's the preferred alternative so that the plan can be done that will contain recommendations and actions and strategies. Next, please. Next few slides, just go into easy to see because the last slide was kind of hard to see. Just give you a little bit of breakdown of what entails in each of the phases. So I'm not going to read them. Basically, there are a lot of studies, data collections, public engagements, a lot of analysis, lots of work involved in those 4 phases. Next, please. This is phase 2. Again, lots of work. Phase 3. Again, we were talking about alternatives. Phase 4, please. Next, please. So this is the project timeline. You can tell where we are with February 2025. We are closing into the end of phase 2. And so as you can tell from at the far right end, or the timeline, August or September of 2026, the project will be completed. So far, so good. It's on time and on budget, and the work products, the deliverables, is all good. And so we appreciate all the work that has been done and also the guidance and contributions of the project steering committee. Next, please. Just want to give you an update on, okay, citizen participation, public engagement is so important. What has been going on, and it's ongoing. The two slides were taken when one of our staff members, Jennifer Six, she was at the Winter Farmers Market. We're trying to pacifiers. Next, please. Job in interviews is another tool that we use for getting public input. And today, you know how cold it has been today. But the consultants and some of our staff went out to different businesses along Veterans Parkway, talk to them, get some input, get some feedback. We heard from one of the staff members, actually Thomas sitting in the audience, he was one of the staff members who went out. He said the feedback was really good. Lots of people, they haven't heard about the study, despite how much we promote the study, and despite how much you have helped us to get the flyers out to your constituencies. But the people in the businesses, they were so glad to talk with the consultants and our staff and to learn about the project. So that's another tool that we have used, the job in interviews. Next, please. Project website, we do have one. If you go to our website, the MCRPC website, www.mcplan.org, you'll see this, or on the left hand, you'll see a logo. We invent Veterans Parkway. Just click on it, you'll get more information. Next, please. Engagement map, again, on our project website, it's interactive map. You can click it, put your comments in, specify the location, then the consultants will collect all those information. Next, please. Survey that I believe you have seen the flyers. Appreciate Casey to get the flyers out to all of you for us. We have a community survey in English and Spanish, but if you have other languages, I think the website to accommodate that. And if you need more, I bought some, and I can leave this here, got English and then Spanish on the other side. And a lot of different ways people could complete and submit this survey. Next, please. Another way for us to promote the survey, medias, TV stations, radios, even the Connect Transit buses. It's a little bit hard to see. I don't know if you can. Actually, they help us to put some of the flyers. I don't know if this will work. I don't think it will. Just help us to put the flyers up inside the bus, so the passengers, will be able to see the survey, and hopefully they will also participate in the survey. Next, please. Again, just with the help of the media, help us to get the message out. Next, please. So we have extended the survey deadline to the end of this month. So give folks a full 2 months to complete and submit the survey. So far, we have received more than 540, and with your help, we hope, and everybody in the audience, please get the word out, and then we really hope to get more input, because this roadway is going to impact not just this generation, but future generations. A lot of different efforts they are using. You can read yourself, just different ways for us to promote this survey. Next, please. Focus groups is another way that we're trying to get the word out and get input. And we have held 3 focus group meetings. And also coffee talk is another way that we, consultants, trying to get input and also have outreach to the underrepresented groups. Next, please. Not going to go through this. They did a SWOT analysis, from the focus groups to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, from people who participate in those focus group meetings. Next, please. Some of the recurring topics seems to share some common interests: speed, nature, access, safety, mobility, and beautifications. Think about those words. It means different things to different people, but it points to this roadway. Next, please. What's the next step? Tomorrow we have our next February project steering committee meeting. They've been really diligent meeting every month. And despite the weather, January, there was a really cold day, but we had it as a hybrid so people can join virtually. Also, the consultant's supposed to provide the engagement summary report, as well as the opportunities and needs report as a draft. And then in March, the consultants will work on the corridor alternative analysis. So that's what you see for the next steps. Next, please. So we are just in the beginning, a few months into this 2-year process. So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. And if you have questions, feel free to let me know. For now, please help to push the survey. And we have the website. And also, if somebody don't have a computer, don't have a phone, if they need like hard copies, survey, we can provide that. If you have them to come to our office, we'll be happy to help them out. If necessary, we have done that. It's even over the phone. We can even fill out to them with them as they answer. We can work with people who can help the survey process. Next, please. All right. Just the image on the right-hand side is the cover of our grant application. 1940, that was how it really used to look like. Veterans Parkway, farmland, agriculture, not much. Today, as you all know, this development have taken place in the last 80 years. A lot of development, from commercial to residential to medical, and you name it. But what the future looks like is up to us, up to you. So with your help, with your participation, then we can get this plan done. Well, just so you all know, when the plan is done, it doesn't mean there's money available right there to start construction to the next day. But planning is the first step, and we'll continue the work for the construction. So with that, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Lai. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we have item number 7. This is the consent agenda. Can I have a motion? Motion by Member Hanson, second by Member Duffy. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 7, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And with our consent agenda, we did have one item that required a 2/3 under the transfer ordinances, and since it was unanimous, it does pass. And this is also the time when we get to present the approval with the resolutions and congratulations with commendation. So I'll ask Member Lehman to step forward and ask all our Eagle Scouts to step up and join us.
Good evening, everyone. Also welcoming our Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Mike Steffa, here this evening. And Mr. Steffa, would you like to kick us off?
Sure.
Fantastic, thank you.
Good evening. The park staff, as well as the citizens who use the park, are truly grateful for these scouts and their Eagle Scout projects they completed at Kamlara Park. A lot of these projects enhance the recreational experiences, and another keeps fishing line litter off the ground and keeps wildlife from getting entangled in it. So we are very thankful, and I'm sure the citizens are too, for the following scouts and their Eagle projects. Ian Gresham, who is absent tonight, built a wooden bridge. Ethan Orton built park benches. Casey Waniger built a hammock group site, and if you don't know what that is, I challenge you to go on Google it. I won't waste time here. And then Charles Giardina did a hammock group site as well in a different area of the park. And then Oliver Weber did the fishing line recycling tubes. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Steffa, would you like to hand out the certificates? Scouts, if you would, as we read your name, go ahead and stand forward, and Mr. Steffa will get you a certificate. One thing that I do have to say, it's been an absolute pleasure being a part of the property committee and getting to hear about these various projects coming up throughout the course of the year. It really is extraordinary to see our youth in the community not only participating in such a great organization like Scouts, but also going through and taking the time to really focus on a way to give back to the community in a place that's so incredible like Kamlara Park. So in advance, thank you so much, Scouts, for being here tonight, as well as for your time and your efforts to beautify the park. So each Scout is receiving a proclamation, and the proclamation this evening says, only 2% of all who join Scouting attain the rank of Eagle Scout. Because to become an Eagle Scout means a Scout must earn a minimum of 21 merit badges, 13 of which must specifically be designated as Eagle required merit badges that cover areas such as citizenship, personal fitness, family life, and outdoor skills. The Scout must also demonstrate leadership within their troop, complete a significant community service project, and appear before the Eagle Scout Board to review their accomplishments and confirm their readiness to be an Eagle Scout. Today, we are here to recognize the hard work and accomplishment of 5 individuals who have achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. First is Oliver Weber. Oliver Weber is part of Troop 956 out of Towanda, and for his required Eagle Scout project, he planned and designed 10 fishing line recycling tubes. Then he exhibited leadership skills by organizing his scout mates in the installation of the tubes at Kamlara Park. These tubes will allow patrons to recycle used fishing line, helping to prevent birds and other wildlife from getting tangled in the used lines. Next, we have Casey Wangeren. Or I apologize, Casey. I feel like I've mispronounced your name. Would you help me with it? Waninger. Thank you so much, Casey Waninger. It's a pleasure to have you here this evening. Casey Waninger is part of Troop 2007 out of Normal. And for his required Eagle Scout project, he designed and planned for the construction of a wooden hammock group site at the main recreation area group camp. He exhibited his leadership skills by organizing his scout mates and in the placement of the central posts surrounded by 5 other posts, which allow for hammocks to be set up for off-the-ground sleeping. Thank you. We also have Ian Gresham, who's a part of Troop 903 out of Bloomington for his required Eagle Scout project. Ian planned and designed a wooden bridge. He exhibited his leadership skills by organizing his scout mates in the building of the bridge across the wet area on Jones Pond that will allow patrons to continuously hike Campers Park Trail and allow for easier mowing trail by the park staff. Next, we have Ethan Orton, a part of Troop 957 out of Hudson. For his required Eagle Scout project, he designed and planned for the construction of 4 park benches. He exhibited his leadership skills by organizing his scout mates in the building and the placement of these benches along the shoreline of Evergreen Lake, which allow for park patrons the opportunity to relax and enjoy nature. And Charles Giardina is part of Troop 920 out of Bloomington. For his required Eagle Scout project, he designed and planned for the construction of a wooden hammock group site at the White Oak Group Camp. He exhibited his leadership skills by organizing his scout mates in the placement of the central post surrounded by 5 other posts, which will allow for several group hammocks to be set up for off-the-ground sleeping. All of these projects will provide for an enhanced experience at Kamlara Park. On behalf of the board and the constituents of McLean County, we thank them for their hard work and congratulate them on achieving the high honor of Eagle Scout. Congratulations and thank you very much, Scouts.
All right, thank you guys so much for being here and for what you've done for the community. We're going to move on to item number 8, and that is our standing committees. And I will pass it over to Vice Chair Rogal for the Executive Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Executive Committee has one item for action, 8A1A, which is recommend that the county board open the minutes so designated and distributed to the board members and determine that a need for confidentiality exists for those minutes so designated on the attached list, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Klein. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8A1A, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Back to you, Vice Chair Rogel.
No other items for action before the Executive Committee, and our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Moving on to item 8B, and that is Finance Committee with Member Lehman.
Thank you, Chair Johnston. The Finance Committee has one item to be presented for action this evening. Item number 8B1A is the request approval of an ordinance by the McLean County Board amending Chapter 165 Animals in the McLean County Code, and I so move.
Excellent. Can I have a second? Second by Member Duffy. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8B1A, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Back to you, Member Lehman.
Thank you, Chair Johnston. The Finance Committee has no other items to be presented for action. Our general report can be found on page 9 of the unapproved minutes packet, and I'm here to answer any additional questions.
Thank you so much. Moving on, item 8C, and that is Health Committee with Member Byrne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Health Committee has no items presented for action tonight. Our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes. A couple items for general interest. We are very pleased that new construction has started at the nursing home that has started this month, and we anticipate that going through April of 2026. The Health Department is seeking out nominees for a Public Health Award. We're bringing that back after a couple of years. So if you know of a champion of public health in McLean County, feel free to submit their name. And lastly, congratulations to Health Department Employee of the Year, Angie Crawford. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Then we're going to move on. Item 8D, Justice Committee, back to Vice Chair Rogel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Justice Committee has a few items for action tonight. 8D1A is a request approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Bloomington and County of McLean regulating use by the County of McLean of the City of Bloomington Police Shooting Range, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Klaus. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8D1A, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, next up, we have 8D1B, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2025 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the Sheriff's Department, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Bell. Any comments or questions? This does require 2/3 approval, and so if there are no questions, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Next up, we have 8D1C, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement for law enforcement services, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Farley. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8D1C, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Next up, 8D1D, request approval of a contract for services between DeWitt County Community Mental Health Board and Children's Advocacy Center, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Hanson. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of 8D1D, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
8D1E, request approval of the grant agreement between the State of Illinois, Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and McLean County, with the link on the agenda, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Zebarth. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8D1E, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
And last up, we have 8D1F, request approval of an agreement with the National Center for State Courts, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Leffler. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8D1F, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
We have no other items for action tonight. Our general report can be found on pages 5 through 8 of the unapproved minutes, and I can answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Vice Chair Rogal. All right, we're going to move on to item 8E, and that is Property Committee, and I will pass that over to Member Abel.
Thank you. The Property Committee has 2 items for action tonight. The first is 8E1A, request approval of an Illinois Prairie Community Foundation grant, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Farley. Any comments or questions on the grant? Seeing none, all in favor of 8E1A, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
The second item we have is 8E1B, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2025 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the Parks and Recreation Department, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Friedrich. This also requires 2/3 approval. So any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8E1B, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
The Property Committee has no other items for action. Our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes packet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on, item 8F, and that is Land Use and Development Committee with Member Klein.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Land Use and Development Committee has 1 item to be presented for action this evening. This is item 8F1A, request by the Ecology Action Center to approve the renewal of the Household Hazardous Waste Program Agreement between McLean County, the City of Bloomington, the Town of Normal, the Bloomington Normal Water Reclamation District, and the Ecology Action Center, and I so move.
May I have a second? Second by Member Fagan. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of item 8F1A, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. The Land Use and Transportation Committee, I would just point out on the agenda, is still listed as the Land Use and Development Committee, but the Land Use and Transportation Committee has no other items for action. Our minutes can be found from pages 2 to 4 in the general report, and I'm happy to answer questions if anyone has any.
Thank you so much. Moving on to item 8G with our County Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have nothing to present this evening.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to item number 9, other business and communication. 9A, we are intending to present presentation of information from outside counsel. And in order to go over this, we will have a closed session pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120/2C1 to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. In order to move into closed session, I will need a motion and a second. Motion by Member Hanson, second by Member Bell. So we are going to move into closed session. At this point, I am going to ask that everyone step away from the room, with the exception of county board members. I'm going to ask Ms. Morlock stay. I'm also going to ask our guest, Mr. Butts, as well as our state's attorney and our assistant state's attorney to stay. Administrator Taylor and I will also be stepping out so that you guys will be able to ask the questions that you would like. And so I'm going to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Rogal. And I do need a vote. So all in favor of moving into closed session, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you so much.